Beam size for 24 spanning garage.
I can help.
Good evening. Hello. Are you online? Hello. Hello.
Sorry for the delay, my computer is acting up. Can you give me a little time to resolve the issue? Can you explain your layout and dimensions of the garage?
No problem, are you online now?
Yes. I think I resolved it. Can you explain your layout and dimensions of the garage?
Details: the garage is approximately 22 by 24, with a triple 2 by 10 main beam running down the center, 24 long. The floor has 2 by 10 joists T-knock running across the beam. There are 2 lolly columns equally spaced supporting the main beam. The ceiling height is 8 under the joists, and obviously 9.25 inches lower under the 2 by 10. I want to remove the lolly columns. I have a few choices: a triple level, 18 inches deep, was spec'd by my contractor. It would have to pocket into the joists. The other option is an I-beam. This is where I need expert advice. A steel yard spec'd a W1049 beam for the length. If I go with a 10 inches beam, I can simply swap the beams, and not have to pocket into the joists for headroom. A little more on the garage: it's attached to a 2-story colonial, and has a family room above. There are no interior walls in the family room, it is an open span of 22 by 24, same as garage. Therefore I assume it can be treated as a support beam for a single level floor. The entire structure was built in 1989. The only other design detail is that there is a brick fireplace above, against the back 22 wall. The cinder block foundation to support the fireplace is inside the garage, approx 3'x6, with a 3-side running parallel against the support beam. I had a thought of placing a support at the corner of the fireplace foundation, shortening the overall length about 21. I would have to ensure the floor was footed properly. I am hoping the fireplace footers are spread wide under the floor, otherwise I will dig and pour a new footer. I would still need a 24 beam, and would have supports at each end and then 3 in, hugging the corner of the fireplace foundation. A contractor will do the install, and I will get all permits and inspections. What I want is a rigid floor. I am shying away from an level and towards an I-beam to ensure there is no bounce or sag. I need recommendations on which beams will work, and more importantly which work best. I see a lot of tables for levels, but not much for steel. I like a 10 inches beam as I don't have to pocket the beam, but I would definitely pocket a taller beam if it's more rigid / stronger / lighter, etc. Thanks.
Wow, you type fast. Let me read your response.
I tried to update my initial question, but it would not submit. Cut/paste.
I think I get your layout. This beam will be 24, split the 22 dimension of the garage, and it will support second floor joists for a family room above. Do I have it correct? So the floor joists span roughly 11 off of each side of the beam? Do you have a deflection you want to stay within? Are you still there?
Sorry, back.
That's okay.
Yes, the joists are about 11 span each side. They are longer, they overlap about a foot or so. I know I have no deflection now, with the multiply lolly columns. I don't know what deflection is acceptable.
Your 2x10s are 9.25 inches deep. Most W10 steel beams are 9.75 to 10.75 inches deep.
Yeah, and a top nailer adds 1 3/4. So I may have to pocket the beam. Is it worth a steel beam then, or do I go with a triple 18 inches level pocketed, and still retain a 9 inches drop?
So your beam will be 24 long, but have an extra support 3 out by the edge of the fireplace, so the span is actually 21?
Exactly. Or, skip that support and span 24. Also, the current beam is supported between the garage doors by a triple 2x4, and on the far end by a lolly. They did not pocket it into the basement foundation.
If you keep to half an inch deflection at midspan under total load, it should be fine.
For which beam?
Let me look at a steel option, hold on.
I guess I'm asking for some options. A wood option and the steel options. Does triple 18 level deflect only half an inch at 21 and full load, 40 psf?
If you use a W8x48, 50 ksi, steel beam for a 21 span, you will have 0.49 inches of deflection at midspan under total load.
I want to do it right, overbuild.
This beam is 8.125 wide, 8.5 inches deep and weighs 48 plf.
So that's 10 inches height with a nailer, only 3/4 more that current. That's acceptable. The steel yard told me the W1049 was 0.50 at 21 span for full load.
Let me run an engineered timber beam for you.
I was also looking at a flitch plate in between the LVLs.
A W10x49 has a 0.33 inches deflection. Flitch plate beams are very hard to work with and take a lot of fabrication due to hole drilling.
Okay, skip flitch. I saw some at betterheader.com prefabbed, but they are probably big dollar.
I am running a 21 span engineered lumber beam right now, hold on. I'd like to point out that a professional engineer's standard of care typically includes a site visit to assess field conditions and get an overall understanding of the structure. This can obviously not be accomplished through the internet. The information provided here is meant for planning purposes only, general sizing and budgeting, and is based on the information provided by you. All loading cases considered are for vertical loads only, no lateral analysis has been completed. The information should be verified by a professional engineer who can visit the site to ensure that potentially important information has not been overlooked or omitted. I can give you a couple of engineered wood options for your beam: 5 1/4 x 16 Versa Lam 2.03100 df, 0.60 deflection, 5 1/4 x 18 Versa Lam 2.03100 df, 0.42 deflection. This is a Boise Cascade product, and you can go to the following link to find distributors in your area. http://www.bc.com/wood/up/distributors.html. You will need to have a local engineer detail your connections, size your support columns and determine foundation requirements.
Understood. I understand you have no liability for any suggestions.
This is for a 21 span.
Okay, so final question. Would you pocket and level at 18 inches or go with a W8 and swap the existing beam? If it were your house and you wanted it to be built rigid and done right. I'm an engineer, me, so I obsess over these details, as I am sure you do. The deflections seem close enough to be the same. Does wood bounce more than steel? No hot tubs in the room, just couches, TV and jumping kids.
Timber is easier to work with, but if you get the holes drilled in the steel beam top flange at your fabricator, steel should not be too hard. The steel beam is going to be pretty heavy, 48 pounds x 24 equals 1,152 pounds.
Yeah, it will cost more to work with. Holes are all pre-drilled. Is it worth the hassle to do steel? I know either way the house won't fall down, but will I notice when I walk on it?
The timber beam will be about 500 pounds, and you can possibly get them in 1.75 inches by 16 inches or 18 inches depths and can bolt/screw 3 of them together in place. I assumed a 40 psf live load and a 10 psf dead load. You will most likely never see that load.
Steel means a couple genie lifts to put up. The LVLs can go up one at a time by hand.
Yes, exactly. Hold on, I can get you a bolting detail for a triple member.
So, if it's your house, are you inclined to recommend steel or timber? I think I've probably used up my time. What do I do now? Just click on the Excellent Service button so you get paid.
Timber. Attachment 2012-1129_005444_triple_18_inches_deep.pdf full size image. Can you see my attachment?
Okay, thanks for the advice. I've been talking to lots of lumber and steel yard experts. Glad to talk to a real one finally. I see the spec sheet. Okay, timber it is.
When you go to a triple 1.75x18 you can use a Versa Lam 2.0 2800 DF. Same deflection. Do you want me to print a triple 16 inches spec sheet for you?
No, I'll go 18 inches for more SF. The 21 versus 24 is probably significant. It's not a problem to drop that column at 3 in, it would be in the way.
Okay, good luck with your project. Experts are credited for each adequately rated answer they provide. If you have additional questions, please let me know. Thanks. If you go to 24 you will have more deflection.
Okay, 21. Thanks again.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now visit justanswer.com/ythi.